So, welcome to today's video. We are taking a look at box number 2 from my watercolor collection, and starting off with some liquid watercolors from Ecoline. Ecoline is part of the Royal Talents brand, which are also making the Rembrandt and Van Gogh watercolors. And they also bought, I think, like 1-2 years ago, the German brand Fintech, which are making the metallic watercolors. So they're still made in Germany, in the same place with the same stuff in the same way they've done before, but are now owned by Royal Talents. Okay, so first off, liquid watercolors. There are two different versions. The first versions, which are most common, is like the Ecoline one, made of dye instead of pigments. And you can easily see that it is dye-based because it has no like residue on the bottom. Normally, if you have a pigment-based, the pigments will fall down sooner or later if it stands for a while. So you always have to shake it to mix it completely. You don't have that with dye-based. It is always a good mixed, clear, watery inside the bottle. So I do have these two starter sets, and I have 2 additional colors. I have bought this because there is a YouTube artist I follow for many years, and she like to use these two, and that's why I've bought this and the other ones. But I very soon realized that those are definitely not my personal cup of tea. That was long before I knew the difference between dyes and the pigments and what light fastness really means and stuff like that. So yeah, I have them for a very long time. I did definitely do a lot of painting, and in the beginning I thought they are not very, they will not hold for a very long time, but I don't know if you can really, yes, when I skip it, it is like, yeah, emptied just to this area. So there is really not a lot of color out. A lot of those are really filled to the brim still. So it is not that it is used of super fast. That's not the problem. My personal problem is you can't make colors darker, first of all. You always can make it lighter, of course. You can water it down with water. You also can mix the colors. That is not a problem, but you'll never be able to make colors darker. And if you know how dark, for example, a good phthalo blue can get, it never will be darker here than this one. And that really bothered me, to be honest, because a lot of the colors are very light to begin with. This looks very dark, but it is like a super light, nearly invisible pink on the paper. And this also looks very dark, but it is a very light turquoise. So a lot of the colors look a lot darker in the bottle, but when applied they are very light. For example, where is it, the gray? It looks like a very dark gray in here, but it doesn't get darker than that. So even if the color appear dark, doesn't mean it will be on the paper. A lot of them are very light in color. Even the sepia, I mean, that is super light for a sepia. It is more, goes more in the direction of a burnt umber, to be honest, not a sepia. So that is a big problem in my personal opinion, that colors just are too light. I mean, I will use them somewhere in the future when I've used the set I'm using at the moment up to base pages in my coloring books, there, of course, you don't need the colors to be super dark. But if you really just want to color or draw with them, it makes the things very problematic. Also, it is just not really good in my space problem, because most of the times I work on this very small laptop table. So those, if you're really like have more colors, you need a lot of space. Then the next problem is the bottles to open. If you are open and close them and open and close them, because you're using different colors, it hurts. They are often the liquid, if they're stuck a little bit on the side, it is like glued. You really have to, I really can't open it at the moment. I would have to use a tool. Then you get these red markings all over. You scrub off your skin. It is just not nice to work with. Your hands hurt, at least mine do, really, really bad if you are opening and closing the bottles. Like I said, the problem with you can't make it darker. And the biggest problem of all, of course, is the light fastness, because all of them are dye-based. If you are making an artwork and hang it on your wall, then half a year later or so, you will probably mostly have a white paper again. So those are definitely not good for making lasting artwork. So that is, of course, one of my biggest issue with it as well. I'm not really a fan of it. Also, you can't change the consistency. Sometimes a thicker consistency can make different effects, and it is nice to be able to change it. You can't, it's always like water, which limits you even more. So those are our problems I do have. That said, there are brands that offer pigment-based liquid watercolors. I never tried them. I'm definitely, after that experience, completely healed from ever using liquid ones again. I rather stick to my tubes and pans, where I have all the possibilities I can imagine. It's so much easier, so much more handy, and cheaper as well, in my opinion. I do know that I think Aqua Drops from Schminke are pigment-based, as well as from Dr. P.H. Martin. I think it is the Hydrus line, if I'm not completely mistaken. They do have different lines, the liquid watercolors from Dr. P.H. Martin's, and some of them are dye-based. So if you ever want to buy one of those, be careful what line you're using. That said, for my personal recommendation is don't waste your money. Better buy something else, like a good brand tube or pen. If you want something from Royal Talents, I highly can recommend their Rembrandt or Van Gogh watercolors. They are amazing, and they have a very good price for value rate as well. Yeah, don't waste your money on the Ecoline ones. So next anti-recommendation is the Sakura Koi watercolors. I have this set here. This is a light lavender. The standard one is white, but they had at least a few years ago where they offered some different colors as well. At the time, it's like, I don't know, 5 years or so, or 6 years ago, I'm not really sure. You've seen them all over the place. Seen so many YouTube channels recommending those Sakura Koi, and that they are amazing, and so on. So of course I jumped on the bandwagon and bought a set. Luckily for me, I bought a smaller set and not one of the big ones, because they are not good. I can only recommend, save yourself your money and buy something better, because those are chalky as hell. Those are full of fillers, and oh gosh, you get a a decent mixing tray where you can see you don't have a lot of beading effect, so that's a plus. You can add it to wherever you are needing it, which is also nice. Get 2 little sponges, but you already can see the colors are cracking, which is in most cases not a good sign, hence of the quality, because in most cases I've seen this, they are either using a completely different binder, or the ratio of the gum arabic is very low and mixed it with some other binder, I'm not sure, or it is the high amount of fillers added into the colors. But they also don't feel like these standard high quality colors, or even good student grade colors would feel like this like gummy feeling. It is just like a chalk pastel, to be honest. It feels like a chalk pastel, more like a watercolor. And you can see that those are streaky, splotchy. The burnt umber doesn't get darker as this. Yeah, there isn't a lot of pigment in it, and like pigment and filler, and yeah, they feel like it. You can't really work nicely with it. You often get this streaky stuff. You can't really layer it nicely and do a lot of stuff. So yeah, definitely no buy recommendation for me. And I will only use it for basing my coloring books, just because I do have it and I want to at least use it up before throwing it away, like some of the other sets I'm now showing you. But if I would be asked if I would buy something like this just for basing in coloring books, I would definitely also say no. I just do it because I already have it. But I rather would use a good like student grade colors for that, instead of something from the cheap sector. I always categorize in 3 sectors. You normally have your student grade and your artist grade, and I do a 3rd category, which is the cheap one, where this definitely fits into, which are very, very low quality. And yeah, you could say you could buy it for your kids or so, but to be honest, most of these brands that were back in the day very cheap are nowadays not really that cheap anymore. And those often you can buy better quality for the same price, or even lower price, or just a little bit more. If I would say buy a set like that for 30 euros, I can buy a set with 12 full pans for around 30 euros from Rosa Gallery and have artist grade watercolors. So why should I buy for the same amount of money? Rubbish. Just doesn't make sense. So that is my personal opinion. Also, the box here, absolutely beautiful design. Yeah, it totally got me back then, and a lot of YouTubers tested it and recommended. And that was before I really knew a lot about watercolors. I mean, I used watercolors for a long time, but I haven't really dug into light fastness, quality, pigments and stuff like that. So I thought, oh, the box is really beautiful. I want to have it. They say the paints are really good, so I bought it. But it is just another chalky, full of filler disaster. So it does come with a swatch sheet. That is definitely a plus. It comes with this plastic sheet. You do have like a sponge, a sharpener, an eraser, a pencil. There was a water brush and a normal brush inside as well. Yeah, my personal experience, because I have multiple sets that are like that, and this is when the pans or the color blocks look like that, they are shitty in general. I have sets with that design from 3 or 4 different brands. I don't know if they're all made the same and just white labeled in different ones, I'm not sure, but they are all not good. I guess that those are still like the Sakura Koi pigment based, because you do see granulation here. That's probably also an ultramarine blue, because honestly it looks the same nearly. The one is a little bit more reddish than the other one. So I think that they are definitely a pigment based, depending on that. But yeah, you already can see, at least I can see here on these small swatches, that those colors are chalky as hell. And not even the metallics are really nice to work with, and that says a lot, because often the metallics in cheap sets where the normal colors are not very nice are still nice to work with, but you can work with it, but they are not really nice. Look at how dull the gold looks. It's not a nice one. I mean, you can still use them probably a lot more than the rest, but yeah, those is also on the big pile of not good colors that I will use as a basing probably for the rest of my life in my coloring books, because of so many not good colors I do have. But definitely I wouldn't recommend buying those, to be honest. It's sad because it is a very nice design and so on, but yeah, the colors are just not good enough. So, Art and Fly, it's another of those not good quality colors. We have a big set. I think I saw it on the Frugal Crafters channel, and I thought if she recommends it, it must be good, but yeah, in my personal opinion, it is not good. I was disappointed. First of all, the metal box is so, I don't know what's the word in English. Just give me a second so that I can hopefully find a warped. Yeah, I think it is warped. It is so warped you can't really put it on your desk. Also the lower part, it is just warped in all directions. The colors, I would say that those are also pigment based, because I see granulation and colors that look like ultramarine blue. They don't have any names, they just have numbers, which is also not very nice to work with. We do have some colors that have a color separation effect, like this. Probably there is some black iron oxide in it mixed with a purple. Looks interesting. So the colors look a lot nicer, but still they are not nice to work with. And whatever they used as binder, it is horrible, because look at all the cracking. Those color cracks constantly, and the cracks fall off like this, and they fly all over. And when they are looking like dark, you can't really, I mean, I know this one comes from this year, but if you're having like multiple parts flying around, then you have a problem, because you don't know where they came from. So I don't know what binder they used. That feels like plastic. Not really nice. I think they are nicer from the look of it, because it looks like they have a less amount of filler in it. It is not as chalky as the other ones. Probably the light fastness of all those cheaper sets are not very good, mostly because if they're using pigments, very cheap pigments that are often all the yellows, oranges, reds, pinks, purples, and a lot of greens, because some of the greens are mixed with yellows. Those are often not light fast. So and that makes sets like that even less good, because if you are not at least have one color of each primaries, like a magenta or a primary yellow that is light fast, you can't really make good art which you can hang on your wall or so. So yeah, that's also of course a big problem in cheaper brands. Yeah, and I don't know how often I have dropped water on those to get the cracked particles to stick. Like here, you can see, I don't know if you can see it, those are like repaired as good as it gets, but often they are cracking anew. So yeah, that is really a big problem. Also, it is a very big set. You need a very big space. It is not really handy, in my personal opinion. Better than the other ones, but still not good enough. I would not recommend or rebuy it. So if you have seen box 1, I have told you that I did swatch the colors from the Magic Fly set and the Giorgione set. So this is the box of the Giorgione watercolors, but the Giorgione ones was in box 1 in the Magic Fly box. I know it's a little bit confusing, but the other box is a lot smaller, and I wanted to take the metallics especially from that set and the other set combined, because they had like part of the range and the other part of the range, and combined you have a nice range of different colors, so you can work with it as one set, and in most cases you get the colors you want. I mean, you can mix metallics as well. I've done it with both brands and it worked just fine. So the metallics are pretty nice from the Magic Fly and the Giorgione one. From the Magic Fly, honestly, they are even better. But the normal watercolors are just not good. So here we have the Giorgione box, but the normal Magic Fly watercolors. And they have this plastic feeling. Those are definitely not, at least not all of them, pigment-based, because some do feel like they have some kind of pigment in it, because it feels a little bit like there could lie a little bit of granulation. But the numbers, sometimes you have numbers like here, which is PO34 and PG7, that could make a brown. Yeah, so that could be pigment-based. But then you have others like CYPB, don't know, or you just say kaolin, or FYG, or stuff like that, and I honestly don't know what it means. CRP481. There is definitely not 480 different red pigments, so I have no clue what it means. They did include swatch card on nice cellulose watercolor paper, so that's a plus. And they also added one on a black cardstock, which is nice for metallics. Definitely a big plus, but you can see here, because of how much white there is in the colors, and all the colors like fillers or some white in it, that's why you can see them on the black paper, because normally a good transparent watercolor is not really visible on a black paper. So yeah, there is a lot of not nice stuff in this, and those are definitely not something I would recommend. I tried, like you can see, some of them are dented. I tried to work with them. They are just not really workable. Then they have some of them like here, there are like little stones in it, like just areas where it's super hard, where you can't scrub off the color. They're just being like that and not, yeah, just hard. And whenever you are rewetting it, it stays that way. So that is strange as well. Don't know if there have some clumps in it that just wouldn't mix with the binder or so, because like here I have it in the yellow as well. They are just a little bit smaller. And that is also not nice. It also definitely will damage your brushes. So yeah, no recommendation for that one as well. Then I have one that the box looks like Sakura Koi. The design is the same, but it is a no-name brand with a mixing tray, which I of course not use, from Amazon. And you see you have a lot of normal colors, you have metallics, pastels and neons. So a very big selection, but those are all full of fillers. I honestly, some of them do look at that if they are pigment based, it looks like there could be a ultramarine blue in it. I'm not sure with brands like that, because sometimes I'm not sure if they're using some kind of filler that imitates that, but yeah, it looks here, it definitely looks like a pigment based color to me, not like a dye based. So they probably use some very cheap pigments in here to get it to the price they sell it. But you can see even the metallics, they look very dull. They're just not really nice metallics. Some of them are more shiny than others, but yeah, definitely. And we have the same look like we do have in the Artistro, where I said all of those I ever tried are not very nice to work with. So that is what I mean. It doesn't matter the brand, and those are all feel similar as well. And the metallics always have these like kind of different structure on the surface. So that's why I thought about maybe they are produced by one brand and white labeled for others. I am not sure. But yeah, definitely also something I would highly recommend to not buy. So I think that was all of the terrible ones. We are now coming to better ones. Starting off with this watercolor set, 24 colors from a brand called Medici. Chinese brand. I don't know Chinese kanji, but I do know that this kanji in Japanese means water. So I guess probably the meaning is similar in Chinese. Those are has a swatch sheet here on a watercolor paper, which is nice, but it's not very handy. That's why I made another one here. Definitely pigment based. Ultramarine blue is always a good test, or where I do look when I buy cheaper stuff, if it's pigment or dye based, because we all know ultramarine blue is a granulating color, and mostly if that one granulates, you can be more sure that it is a pigment based. But those are definitely pigment based. They are in a style of Gansai Tambi, or in Chinese like Gukai. Those are these traditional Asian watercolors that often use a different binder. The Gansai Tambi colors are normally made out of not of a gum arabic, but bone glue, so they are often not vegan. I don't know if Gukai watercolors use bone glue or gum arabic or something else, to be honest, but I do know that normally those are the Gansai Tambi ones are not vegan. So we have those pans where often people say, oh, they aren't already used, they are not filled to the brim, I want my money back. Those are meant to look like this. Doesn't matter if it's Gukai or Gansai Tambi, it doesn't matter the brand. The reason why that is that you are be able to go into it with very big calligraphy brushes without damaging the bristles, and adding a lot of water into it without making a mess. So that's the reason why they are like that. The amount of color that is in a pan like that is around 1 full pan and a half pan. So it is a nice amount of a nice amount of color, sorry. The quality is, I would say, student grade. We don't have any information about pigments, about light fastness. We do get some names in English, so that's at least nice to have. But yeah, for a good student grade or a student grade, which I would, on the range of student grade, put higher than it, I must have some information about pigments and light fastness. So that's not. Sorry if you hear the wind. It's really raining and storming outside, and it is thrashing against my windows here. So I'm sorry if you can hear it. So yeah, the quality is okay, I would say. I would definitely, in the department of the light fastness, not would say that those are probably all light fast. They probably also have the problem with yellows, oranges, red, violets, and some of the greens and pinks. They have some brushes that feel like they are genuine hair brushes. At least the hair does feel like here, but they are probably the most terrible brushes I've ever had in a cheap set. I mean, look those. That's how they arrived. Their tips are completely off. Like I said, it feels like genuine hair, but all the hairs are standing in all the directions. The tips are just formed. I've never put them in water. Maybe I would put out the glue and look, maybe they would shape a little bit better, but honestly, they do look like that they are never ever be able to be used for something because they look so terrible already. Never seen tips like that in any kind of brush, not even in the cheapest brush I've ever seen somewhere to buy, where you can like buy 100 brushes for €3 or so. Never even there I've seen so terrible brushes. So yeah, I honestly, I've never tried them. Maybe I should, but I just didn't feel in the mood to try one of those. But yeah, it is a, I would say, okay-ish set. Of course, Gukai or Gansai Tambi traditional Asian watercolors are a bit different. First off, because of the different binder they use, they feel mostly more creamy. They often use white pigments, so they have a lot of more opaque and pastel-like colors. That is normal, not just with bad quality, but it is like follow the traditional colors and rules for those traditional art styles. So they do behave a little bit different. They often have a little bit more like a glossy feel when they are, for example, using bone glue, like the Gansai Kuretake Gansai Tambis, for example. So yeah, they do behave differently. That is something to keep in mind. Those traditional colors often do not layer as well as traditional Western watercolors because they are not meant to use like that. Traditional Asian coloring styles work art styles work completely different. They're working on rice paper first off normally, which also behaves, of course, different than a watercolor paper. And the techniques are different. So you can work with those, but it is different. Just that is something to keep in mind. It doesn't matter the brand. If it's Gukai or Gansai Tambi, they will feel different than Western watercolors. But I still do love working with colors like that. So I do have some different brands like Kuretake or Boku Ondo and Kiss Show, which we will see in a minute. So first off, we are going to take a look at my collection of superior watercolors. Superior watercolors, you have seen one of my superior watercolors in box 1, which was a set shaped like that with a little cat on it. And those collection, you can still buy them, is called the Tai Chi colors. Tai Chi colors. And there is the set with the cat, which is more like the basic set. And we have this sets, which are the more like the cool colors and the warm colors. And they all come in a big and a small version. They do have like a mixing area here, which I don't use normally. The small ones only come in with these colors, and the big ones do have some additional colors. Those are, would say, are probably a little bit smaller than half pence. And those additional colors are very thin. They are a lot thinner. These are a lot deeper. I don't know why, but you can put them out and click them in again. Those not. Those are glued in. So these are the warm. All of these sets come with a swatch card on watercolor paper, and which I haven't used so far. This is the white one here with for both areas, and they all come with an envelope where you have 4 sheets of watercolor paper with a printed coloring image. I do have 2 of them here. And each of these Tai Chi sets will come with one of those, and they have some different images which are specially made for the set, for the colors in the set. I have used one of them so far. So yeah, this is something really nice, I think, where you can try your colors. So this is this set. And they are on the cheaper side. They are definitely pigment based, and they are astounding good quality. That's why I do have so many of those. Gosh, I don't get it closed again. So, I wouldn't say artist grade. They are definitely not. They are more like a student grade set, but they are really good quality. They don't have the feeling of filler in it, or at least not a lot, like a decent amount, like a good high quality student grade color would have. So yeah, those are definitely nice. I do like to use them. I have used a lot of those sets I have in the past a lot, so I can definitely say that they are nice. The only exception, I have some sets which I have upstairs in my drawer. There I have the metal tin from the Superior brand, and I've bought it because I thought all of these are amazing for the price. But the metal tin is not very nice. The colors are different. Those sets are all the same in the color and the quality, with the exception of the metal tin. So I will have to take down my few sets I have upstairs for one of the other videos. Basically all of the foldable palettes you see around like that, the big, small, they are often white labeled. Probably all of them white labeled from Superior. We found them a lot of sellers, even art shops do sell them with their own brand, but they are basically all Superior. Watercolors, like I said, those are exactly the same. They have like a plasticky feeling when you feel it in dry, but the quality when you're coloring with them is really nice. You do have a mixing tray, which has also not really a strong beading effect, which is nice. You have a sponge and a water brush. The only thing that you have to keep in mind is let the colors dry completely before folded together again, because otherwise they will stick together and then you have a really big problem to get it out. Those are more like pastel and some a little bit glowy neonish like colors, but they come in all different versions. Then I have, like I said, I have a lot. I've bought them over years. Also comes with swatch card on a watercolor paper. They often come, you do see here the granulation on the French ultramarine very easily, so it is a pigment based. And yeah, actually they are really, really nice colors. The information about the light fastness here, I did get it from Kimberly Crick's site, because she did make a 1-year light fastness test from the fold out palette she has, and I looked up the numbers. Some of them do crack, so that's a negative point. You have to be a little bit careful sometimes. The funny thing is, we have here these fold out palettes. They also come in different sizes. The 61 is the big one. We have the good plastic here again, which doesn't have a strong beading effect. The funny thing is the metallics are completely different. They have this gummy feeling which you normally have from watercolors made out with gum arabic. So these are completely different. They don't have this cracking problem. And those are also the ones you can put off. You can click them in and out. Oh, I cut my nails yesterday, so they are too short to get it out easily without problems, but you can move these around. Why? I'm not sure why they do it with them and not with the others, but yeah, just so you know, this is one of these palettes, and they did come in different colors. I do love blue, so I bought the blue one. And which I found nice is they always have this super soft silicone holder. So another one which I have seen on white labeled as well with different styles is this one. When I bought it, there were different designs. I've bought the one with the cat. It also comes, like you can see, with this swatch card, and here you also can see very easily in different colors. You do have granulation. So this one here you can fold out like that. There you have your mixing areas and your sponge. And then you have the classical fold out ones again on both sides. And you can really do nice artwork with all of those. So it doesn't matter which of these sets, the quality, like I said, the only exception is the tin one, the metal tin one, but all the other ones, you can really do nice artworks. I've worked with mine, with all of them, so many artworks in the past. a lot of my sketchbooks, my early sketchbooks are done with some of those sets. So you still can buy all of them. I've looked it up because this was a special edition here, and a few months ago I've still found it. So if you are interested in any of these sets, you can ask me and I will search through AliExpress to find you the ones if you are interested in. So here, this is from the cat set. I did make some smaller ones which are nicer, but like here with the cat set, you do have all the colors. You do have a light fastness information here, but I'm not 100% sure how accurate those are without seeing the pigment numbers, so I'm always a little bit careful here. I did have a mistake in the cat one because this should normally be a black. They added a second, so that was a packing mistake they made, but yeah. And you get this one where you could swatch it as well. I didn't, but where you have these two layers, and where you can easily look at this and know which of the colors are in which position, which I found really neat to do. So here also were in, I think, 2 envelopes for the 2 sets. We do have 2 swatch cards, and we have like a yin yang. I found it so pretty back then design, and they are basically like all the others where we have one area here and the other one, and we have here like the color selection is this one here where we have all the warm colors like yellows, orange, reds and browns, and down here white, purple colors, and then we have some pastel colors on the lower area. And the Blackfish one has the other part with the greens and the blues and the black, and we do have some metallic colors, and those are, again, they have some these 2 colors here. These are dual tone colors, so they look different on a black surface than they would look on a white surface. You see, like it's like a turquoise blue and more like a green, or more like a purple and more like a pink. So that's why I always say swatch all your metallic, glitter and so on colors on light and dark. So yeah, we do have different amount of set of colors in here, and those are meant to be used together so that you have all the colors. So yeah, those are very decent, and if you can get them on a sale, you can get them for a very affordable price. So then I have here this metal tin, which I just bought so I can put all the pans in. I've bought like the cheapest set on AliExpress I could get, because those are the limited edition metallic watercolors from White Nights. Those are like interference colors, some gold, silver, sparkle with a bigger glitter particles ones. We do have some different like dual tone and others. If you want to see them all swatched, I'm not sure if I have put it in the I think I have, but I'm not 100% sure, in the review playlist, but it is definitely in the live playlist. I have done unwrapped them on a live stream and swatched them all, gave all the information about light fastness and the pigments and my personal opinion about them. There are definitely some colors which are very, very nice, and where I have honestly bought a second pan because they are limited edition. So I wasn't sure how big the limited edition is, so I tested them, and in my next order I did buy some of those, but they are really nice. Then I have these Shine Pearl watercolors from the Japanese brand Kusakabe. It comes with a little travel water brush. I've never used it, but it is, from the size of it, it is really nice because you can put the water in, you have something to put a cap on, and you can pull it off and transport it like that, and then screw it together if needed. It did come with a gray watercolor paper and a white one. The white one is underneath. So a dark gray, so that you can see how the colors look on different paper, which is really, really nice. You have like different colors because these polarization colors are basically like two tone colors. They look different on light and on dark paper. And you have one which is called Crystal, which is like the what it is called. There are two colors from Coliro. The one is called Sunbeam, which is like that, but in gold, with where you have like a translucent color, but these big goldish particles. And the other one is Moon Flare or something like that. Moon Glow, no, not Moon Glow. Something like that. So there are two colors that are similar. Yeah, I was very interested in those polarization colors because one of my favorite Japanese YouTuber used it back then. And in the Crystal, the other one were just a bonus for me. This is basically an iridescent, and it's a gold, silver, bronze. And you can see it already if you're looking at the colors, that you see pink and gold. And depending on which paper you put it, you get more like a gold or more like a pink, and you have this with the other colors as well. So also bought it over AliExpress. You can still buy them. You can also find sellers where they sell the colors individually. As always, if you want to give a link, just leave a comment. Then I have bought this new set from Paul Rubens because I love rainbow tints like that. And I've looked up every YouTube review I've seen and all the sellers that sell those to get a picture from this set, because there are two sets. I have the 12 color set, and all the videos and all the pictures from inside the tin are the 24 color set, but the 24 color set has a different rainbow design, and I did like this one more. So I thought, okay, I'm okay with 12 colors. I'm buying it mostly for the tin and not for the colors. And when it arrived, the 24 set has full half pans. So there are half pans with 24 colors, and they are filled to the brim. What I got were 12 full pans that are only filled half. And I'm not sure if they are sold that way from Paul Rubens, because those feel like the Paul Rubens tin. They do have the round edges. Or if the seller I've bought it from somehow, don't know, put the original colors out and put some colors in. I honestly don't know, but it leaves me with a little bit of a bitter feeling. You feel a little bit ripped off. I mean, basically, you know that a full half pan is the same amount of color that you have in a half filled full pan. So the amount of color is basically the same, but you still have, it leaves a strange feeling for me, to be honest. I'm not very sure. I mean, at least I've bought it on a really, really big sale. So I've bought it like for the half of the price. Why can't I get it in again? Gosh. But yeah, so if anyone has the 12 color set or have seen photos or videos about it, because I couldn't find anything from inside the tin, I would absolutely love to hear if your colors look the same and it is just sold like that, or if the seller just ripped me off here somehow. That I really, really would love to know. I haven't swatched the colors so far. Basically, I have a lot of sets and colors from Paul Rubens bought over the year, and it doesn't matter if it's student or artist grade, they are always amazing. And you often can find sets in student and artist grade to events like Black Friday or Christmas, Easter, something like that, for a very, very low price. I think I will have to dim the light a little bit. Where you sometimes like this can get it for like 50% off or so, which is amazing, because these sets to begin with are on the price scale, on the lower range, they are a very good price for value in general. So yeah, I'm not sure about this so far, but Paul Rubens in general, I only have, with the quality of the paints, a good experience. So definitely something I can recommend in general as a brand. With the set, like I said, I'm not sure, but all the other stuff I have from them are amazing. And what I always do is I go through all the sites on AliExpress and on Amazon and stuff, and put link to the very good sale offers in my Discord whenever are days like Black Friday or so. So I always share those, because I know that from brands like Paul Rubens you can really get amazing offers on days like that. So that was also an amazing offer, because I got those are quarter pans for €2.50. And that was just a no-brainer for me. I thought even if the quality is mediocre, then I still have an amazing amount of metallic watercolors for an amazingly cheap price. Sets like that you also get a lot on Temu and AliExpress. And on days like that, like I said, to special events which the platform offers, you often get them for a super, super cheap price, like I did, like €2. It's, like I said, it's an absolute no-brainer. To be honest, those are like 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It's an over 50 colors, and that means you have like, don't know, over 25 half pans full of metallic watercolors for €2.50. That's just a no-brainer. And now actually I used them yesterday, and they're really nice. I mean, they are not on the quality scale like a Coliro or a Finetech is, but they are really nice and good quality metallics. So they work amazingly. I've used different colors yesterday. I used this one, this one, this one, this one, this one, those two, this one here, the blue, this one. So I use different colors, and they all work amazingly. So that was absolutely a great offer. So whenever you are looking and find something like that for €2.50, yeah, that's totally a no-brainer, because they are good quality and with metallics. They often are a lot better quality in general for cheap colors than with normal watercolors, and they're really, really good. I'm really happy I bought them. So another set I thought mainly for the tin is this set from Sonnet. Sonnet is basically the student grade line from the same brand that also makes the White Nights watercolors. It is St. Petersburg brand. Those are the colors. Sadly, we don't get any information about the pigments. We do get an information about the light fastness, which is probably not very accurate. So in most sets like that, where I don't have any information, I would say yellows, oranges, reds, pinks, purples, and greens. Handle with care. I do have the student grade set from Rosa Gallery, and they have basically a nearly similar range of color. And when I look at the pigments, because they include pigments information, then yeah, basically none of those colors are light fast. So I also would handle this with care. The reason why I bought it, firstly, it doesn't have the lower one for mixing, the lower mixing area. I never use those, so it is additional space wasted. So I loved that this set doesn't have it. Also, the sets from White Nights, the metal tins, or from Rosa Gallery are so much more space efficient. I do love this. That they don't have this free space for brushes and rather would put in an additional row. So you can basically use these later on for other paints. What you do have to keep in mind, the Sonnet, the White Nights, and the Rosa Gallery or your Rosa Studio paints are 2.5 milliliter, and normal sized full pans are 3 milliliter. So if you buy like full pans, empty full pans, which are 3 milliliter, you will have a little bit more problem putting it in here. I do have a metal tin, a big one from White Nights, where I put in normal sized full pans. It does work. You will add less pans, and you probably, because you really have to put the metal more open, and I guess that probably the whole thing will be damaged at least partially from that. So I wouldn't recommend those. It is better put in your pans from White Nights, Rosa Gallery, Sonnet, or what else here that are the good size. Empty them out and then put in, for example, your 2 paints in the emptied out pans or so. That's probably better than putting in some 3 milliliter ones. The quality itself is amazing, like it is always with the White Nights as well. So you can work amazingly well with the Sonnet watercolors. Just the light fastness is a problem. So that to keep in mind. But they are awesome because you can get them for a very cheap price, especially if you not buy them in the metal tins, if you buy them in these cardboard boxes. So you can get them very cheap, and they're amazingly good if you are on a budget. The only big problem I have is if you really want to make artwork that lasts with them, you will have to buy an additional red, like a magenta or a primary yellow at least, so you can make artwork that completely is light fast and don't vanish. That is the big negative point here. but the quality itself is amazing. And what I like to use is colors like that. I use them in sketchbooks where light fastness just don't matter, or for artworks where I say light fastness is not an issue. Or they are also amazing for practicing, because they are student grade. They are, of course, cheaper, so you don't have to like, oh, I don't want to waste enough so much of the color. You don't have to be so careful with colors like that. So that is why I personally think having at least one student grade set for a cheap price, additional to your good quality paints, is always a nice thing if you have the money, because then you can decide which paint quality you're using. Do you just do some sketching, some practicing, then use the cheaper stuff. And do you work on an artwork, then use the better quality paints. So yeah, good price per value. So going to this one, this is basically the Rosa Studio, but white labeled Createch. I've bought this one on Amazon, and I think I've bought it on sale for like somewhere to 12 to 15 euros for 24 full pens. Like I said, also 2.5 milliliters. And the reason why I've bought this because I saw the product photos and I thought those look exactly like the Rosa Studio one. I also have the Rosa Studio one, which is in one of the drawers. We'll see in another video, but I thought it looks exactly the same. The color selection looks exactly the same. The names are exactly the same. So I thought, okay, it's just like 12 euros. I buy it. I could have sent it back, but I thought, oh no, just keep it. It's good for practicing and stuff. And I put it out, and you can see it is definitely the Rosa Studio colors, because they have this engraved Rosa logo in it. So yeah, definitely white labeled for this German brand. It did come with this sheet here, where you only have the names and the light fastness information. The light fastness information is not correct, because it says, for example, that the PY1 has here excellent light fastness. I do have the pigment information from the Rosa Studio set. I don't know why those didn't include the pigment information, but the Rosa Studio ones, they did, and that's a big plus in comparison to the Sonnet watercolors, because they don't offer, at least my old set. Maybe the newer sets nowadays do have pigment information. I don't know, my Sonnet set is very old, so they didn't include it there, but they include it here, and we have a PY3, PY1, PY83, PR13, PR2, PR4, PR170. Those are all not light fast, like the PR63, 57 stuff. Those aren't light fast. What is light fast is the violet, because it's a quinacridone pink and ultramarine blue. That's interesting. We have your basic PV3, which is often used as a cheaper version for dioxazine violet, because this is even less light fast. We have a very beautiful rare PG8, which sadly also isn't light fast. But yeah, the rest is very good with the light fastness, but this part is not. So that is always the problem, because like I said, you would need, if you want to make artworks that really is able to be gifted, to be sold, to be hang up on your wall, you need at least one yellow and one red additional to it, which is light fast. And that is something I really don't like. I think they have a good selection of colors. They should at least put one yellow and one primary red in a set like that, which is light fast. All the other yellows and reds and stuff could be non-light fast, but at least one should be light fast, so that you can, even if you have not a big you are not big on the money department, that you at least have a set ready that you can work artwork and which you can hang on your wall if you like to hang it on your wall without that it fades in the next month. So next set here is one I filled off myself. You all know probably that I am a big fan of porcelain and ceramic. And a lot of people say you can't travel with porcelain, which is wrong. I do have like a soap holder, and I have where normally is for pencils and stuff, where it is inside. It's a very thick fabric made thing, and it is very good and protected and it works. I traveled many years with it, but I found this one which comes with a cute little swatch sheet, which I haven't swatched so far because I only have filled in the colors, and it is a travel ceramic color box. If you are interested in it, I can provide a link again, just let me know. Oh gosh, yeah, not all of them are dried, it seems. Some of them are still wet. Yeah, and you have this cute little, I think it is 12 colors, which is completely enough, especially for a travel palette. And then you have this little mixing area, also in ceramic. And you have this little part here, just that it, because it is a little bit lower than the box, just that doesn't move and damaging the set. So yeah, this is really cute. I probably will do an review video on it on its own, but I really like it so far. So then we have those sets here. I have review videos on all of them, so I will make it quickly. Those are Gansai Tambi styled colors. Those are from Kuretake. Those are pigments mixed with graphite. And those two are Boku Ondo, and those are Ezumi. Zumi means ink, so they are mixed with the black ink. Those are basically this standard black ink mixed with some pigments, because it looks like a little bit like a ultramarine blue here, for example. Don't know, light fastness probably is not very good with them. Those are a little bit more vibrant. And like I said, I do have a review video on all of them. I do like them. They are from the behavior like Gansai Tambi watercolors, so they are working a little bit different. Yeah. If you are more interested in it, probably best to look the review video for them. So then I have two more of these Primatech watercolors, and I already did have some of those in box 1, because I have my 3 Jane Davenport sets in box 1 and the classic set of the Primatech. The Jane Davenport and the Primatech, or Prima Marketing, under what name else, doesn't matter. They are all basically Mangyo watercolors. So I do have a 48 set of Mangyo, but I've bought those two additional because those aren't in the Mangyo line, these pastel colors. And back then I thought I want to have some pastel colors. Honestly, never used them a lot. I do like the vintage one more. They offer pigment information, which is nice. The light fastness information is mostly rubbish, because they say the light fastness of PP29 is super bad, but the light fastness of pigments like PR48 is super good, which is completely the other way around. But at least here we do have some colors that are light fast. Most of the all of these, it doesn't matter, Prima Marketing, Art Philosophy, Jane Davenport, or if you buy it under the Mangyu name, most of the colors are very bad with the light fastness. So if you are taking a look at light fastness, light fast, light fast, light fast, light fast, light fast, light fast, not light fast, not light fast, light fast, not light fast, not light fast, not light fast. So this is a very good selection here, because we do have actually some colors that are light fast, because often I find none, because they're using a lot of these super cheap pigments other high quality brands would never use. So not light fast, not light fast, light fast, not light fast, light fast, not 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 light fast. So we only have 2 colors that are light fast, and that is basically most of the times. From the quality, when you are, of course, those have a lot of white because they are pastels, so that is, for a pastel, is normal. From the quality themselves, they feel very nice working with. They do have a lot of like pastel colors. The rest, I think, like I said, is nice to work with, but most colors aren't light fast. And this is the biggest problem, because you can't use them on their own if you want to make lasting artwork. And that is the big negative point. If you're still interested in buying those, I highly recommend buying it under the Mangyu name, because you basically get the 48 set for the same amount of money. Then you would get like 2 of those. So it is like 50% cheaper to buy Mangyu than to buy the white labeled versions. I did take a look here, because they also offer all the pigments, which is nice. The light fastness rating from them is nearly all of them are perfect in light fastness, which is of course not the case. And I have like from 48 colors, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Only 10 colors that are light fast. All the others are not light fast at all. And that is, of course, if you are looking at the set with 48 colors and only 10 colors are light fast, that is not really a good amount. So yeah, that's my biggest problem with the brand. And like I said, nowadays, especially the white labeled ones are have gotten very expensive. Mine are very old, and I've got them for a lot cheaper than you buy them nowadays. But why I've bought them in the past is that they are very cheap, and those isn't the case anymore. So it just, in my personal opinion, for the same amount of money, I mean, this is now sold for like 60 to 70 euros. You can get a set from Rosa Gallery with 28 full pans in high quality artist grade with an amazing light fastness for around 45 euros. So why should I buy colors which are more expensive for shittier quality because the light fastness is that bad? It just doesn't make any sense anymore for me personally. Like I said, in the past, those were very cheap, and that was the reason why I said it is okay for me to buy them for sketchbook and practicing and stuff like that. But nowadays they have gotten so expensive that I just don't see the reason why to buy those anymore. So next one is the Kuretake transparent watercolor set. It's a little travel set in a plastic box. There was a water brush in here, the green one, and also this Zig Mangaka water based pigment, but also it's like waterproof, at least as far as I've used it, I think. Fine liner in the set with it, which is very neat. Those are the colors that are in the set. So there are none of these traditional opaque colors in it. It does appear that I've used it a lot, but actually I have only swatched it, and that's it. So these half pans definitely weren't full. They are like at least, I think, like a third of the pan is not filled. So that is honestly not okay in my opinion. That's like a lot of color that isn't probably filled in. I mean, I can really put my finger in those, and you see that they're really dented. So yeah, that's a big negative point. You can like put this one out to swatch colors. You have a little mixing area if you want to use it. I think it is meant to be a travel set. I think the color selection is okay. The quality is traditional Gansai Tambi styled colors. They are just filled in a different pan. And the light fastness probably is only okay with like earth colors, neutrals and blues, and rest is probably not very good with the light fastness. So it is okay, but I definitely did feel ripped off afterwards with the amount of color that they put into. So I hope if they still sell it, that they have changed that. If we are at the Kuretake brand, then of course we also have to take a look at my Gansai Tambi paints. So this set here is around 15 years old or so. That was the biggest set back then. Then they released a bigger set with some new additional colors, which were these ones. So of course I only bought the new colors because I already had all of the others. It just didn't make sense to buy like a complete new big set just for a few additional colors. So I definitely was very glad they did make a small set just for the newer colors. So that were the new colors back then. There are, yeah, like some earthy gray and some pastel colors that went into the mix. They do have this printed on, not really good paper for watercolors, a swatch sheet, where you nowadays do also get the English name. If you are looking at my very old one, there you only had the numbers and the names in Japanese. So back then I had absolutely no clue what the color names are. I only had the numbers. I didn't know anything about pigments and so on. Nowadays you can look the pigments up in on their website. So you can do this. I haven't done it written down so far, the information about which one is not light fast. I had from Kimberly Crick, which done on this set 1 year light fastness test, and Kuretake claims on their website that their colors are all light fast. That's definitely not true, because if you're looking at the pigment list, yeah, the reds, oranges, yellows, pinks, violets, and some of the greens, which are using some of the yellows, aren't light fast. And in this set, like this, and this aren't light fast. So we have basically no light fast red in it, which of course is problematic. We at least have here the lemon yellow and the aureolin. They are rated after 1 year in light fast without fading by Kimberly. But I would have to look at the pigments to be really sure that they are not fading like a few years afterwards. Based on the numbers, they are using tons of pigments that aren't light fast, so definitely not something I would use if light fastness is important. But nevertheless, I do like the colors. They are nice to play with. There are Gansai Tambi paints. They don't use gum arabic. They are using bone glue. They said many years that their paints were vegan, and after that there is male. You can basically read on some websites between, I think it was Jackson's and Kuretake, that they then someone said, okay, yeah, we weren't really honest. Our colors aren't vegan, so I guess they use probably some kind of bone glue, which is the traditional binding agent for Gansai Tambi paints. So that being said, for all the vegans, this is definitely not a brand you should use if you're vegan. So if we are into traditional Asian colors, like Gansai Tambi, then of course we also take a look at the other ones I do have. First off, the Gukai watercolors, which is the Chinese equivalent to Gansai Tambi paints. So those are traditional. They are behaving very much the same as Gansai Tambi paints. I don't know which kind of binding agent they're using, but like I said, in a lot of traditional Asian colors, there is bone glue used, so I could imagine they made similar, but also they could, of course, use something differently. I don't know for sure. So if anyone knows what binding agent is traditionally used for Gukai paints, please let me know. So those are from Paul Rubens. And this set is available with traditional colors like the ones we had just now, which I wasn't interested to buy in because I already have 3 brands. And this is a set made with glitter metallics. So yeah, I couldn't resist when I saw this beautiful colors. I mean, look how beautiful they look with these stuff imprinted on the paints. It looks just so beautiful. A lot of those colors are also available in the traditional Western watercolor series from Paul Rubens in their metallic watercolors. Some of them aren't available there, but some are. But overall, if I were to choose between those or the Western ones, I would prefer the Western ones because they behave a lot nicer. These sometimes are a bit problematic to get a really nice layer on, and they are definitely a lot less shinier. If you are getting a lot of color, there are only a few colors that are really shiny, very shiny. and most of them looking a little bit duller. You have some nice colors like this here, which is similar to the crystal from the Kusakabe, where you have this bigger, chunkier, and now I do remember the name. I think it is Stardust. Stardust is the one with the silver big chunky glitter in the Coliro brand, and Sunbeam is the one with the gold bigger, chunkier glitter. So when I've bought it, Coliro hadn't, I think, released the Stardust. I'm not quite sure. Either this one or the Kusakabe one. And I was really happy about it because this was a color I hadn't have so far, but now it is much more easy available with Coliro. So I can buy it open stock and don't have to buy like a whole set. So nowadays, I think most of the colors are easily accessible somewhere else, and the quality is definitely better for glitter and metallics with traditional Western watercolors, just because it sometimes seems to behave a little bit off. At least I don't have used them a lot. You can see I only like you can see it here easily dented on small corners, just because I didn't want to ruin the imprint. But yeah, you need also a lot more, it feels like a lot more color here than you would use on the Western ones, which is much more easily to get opaque and so on. So if I had to choose, I would rather choose the traditional Western version from Paul Rubens. So I mentioned the other Japanese brand called Kiss Show. These are from that brand. And they have this beautiful fabric covered box. It looks so amazing. They are, at least in Germany, higher priced, so they are more expensive than the Kusakabe brand. But if I had to choose one of those, I would rather choose these one because they feel a little bit more a little bit higher in quality, and also they have a lot more granulation going on, so more granulation colors, and also some colors that have a color separation effect, like a super granulating watercolor, which is very much my cup of tea. They have various sets, and I choose specifically one where I only have 3 metallic watercolors because I have so many metallics. I was more interested back then in the normal colors because some of the sets really have like 2 or 3 rows with metallics, and I wanted the one with the least amount. So I only have the gold, the silver, and the copper, and the rest is normal watercolors. And if you take a look at the swatch, you can easily spot how much stronger they're granulating as the Kusakabe ones. We have colors like here where we have a blue and black color separation effect going on, or here like a blue and green. And yeah, we have so many colors that have granulation like here, and really good and strong granulation. The colors are very much different to the other one in that department because the Kusakabe ones are finer milled, and that is just a personal taste. I absolutely love granulation, so of course I like colors that granulate more than the brand which mills their pigments so fine that even granulating colors granulate very little. But yeah, overall also the quality seems to be a little bit better overall with those. Still, we have no information here about the pigments they are using. I mean, we wouldn't have the granulation if it isn't pigment-based, so it is definitely pigment-based, but I didn't find any information about those. So if anyone knows something or knows a homepage where we can look that up, that would be awesome. That's why I would only use them as, or rate them as non-light fast. I don't have any information about what they are using. Also, I only have, like earlier with the Kusakabe brand, the Japanese names, so I can't really say what colors they are. I mean, I can read the hiragana, but I only know like basic color names. Like I know what blue is called, or green, or purple, or red, or white and black, something like that. So I can't really, I can read it, but I can't understand it. So that's better said, probably. But yeah, they are really, really nice Gansai Tambi paints. And the box looks very, what's that called in English? Noble, very yeah, gallant. I don't know how to better say it with this fabric here. So it definitely, if you gift a big or a small box, doesn't matter. They all have this fabric, and you can buy, at least in Germany, you can buy these and the Kuretake ones open stock, the pants, which is very nice. So it definitely makes a nice and noble looking present, I think, if someone really likes Gansai Tambi paints. So then I do have this very big set from Mijello. And the ones of you who have seen my watercolor tube collection have seen all the little Mijello tubes I try to use up, and a lot of them I have already used up. Those are from this set here. And this set came with this palette. And the colors in it are the ones from the set. So yeah, someday I will use those up. Then I will probably sell the plastic palette, just because it is too big for me personally. I don't like it so much. It takes a lot of space, and I mean, it is nicely meant with those mixing areas, but I normally don't use it. I tried it once, didn't like it. It had a lot of beading effect. You see, even dried all the little beads that occurred here, and yeah, that isn't just something I do like. So yeah, probably will. I mean, you get a lot of colors in there, which is nice, but there are other palettes, like my Holbein metal palettes, where you can get like a lot of colors in it, and you don't have that much space. I mean, they are probably like this size here, so much more handy in my opinion than this one. Then let's talk about another sets from Paul Rubens. I have this one here, and this series is a student grade series which is called Coraline. They have pen sets, but they also have tube sets. In my video about the tube sets the tubes I haven't sorted in my boxes so far, there was one of the Coraline one as well, which had the same blue cardboard box. So this is a student grade set, but the performance of the paints are very good, very high level on the student grade range. Sadly, we don't have pigment information here with the full pans, but I do have the pigment information with my tubes. So I do have the names here, and I do have the numbers here, and I want to do some when I start using it more, looking up the tubes and getting the information down here, so that I really know what colors those are. Also, which is nice, is that they are in individual pans, so I actually, when I use it more, I can take them out and put it in a normal tin or in a smaller box, because this box itself is very big. We do have some really nice color here, even like a transparent looking yellow, which is also nice. I really will have to look up which pigment that one is. That would be interesting, but because there aren't a lot of transparent pigments out there. And in the set I from Paul Rubens, which I have called the Lost Pigment set, I have a review on that one. There is one pigment which is also a very transparent pigment, which is a discontinued pigment, and all the other brands using it don't have a transparent version, and I totally fell in love with it, and it reminds me a lot of it, which in the other set it just looks like videos I've seen from a genuine yellow quinacridone PO49 gold, quinacridone gold. So the pigment looks a lot like that, and I would be very interested in if this is the same pigment, because I haven't seen this pigment used somewhere else in that form ever. So yeah, that would be interesting. Maybe looking it up tomorrow. So it is already nearly 1 AM. Definitely not doing it today. Okay, so yeah, the quality of the paints is very nice. Honestly, I never bought colors from Paul Rubens and was disappointed. Those are student grade paints, but they are very good in quality. And the same goes for the Mei Liang watercolors. I also do have, where do I have it? Somewhere deeper here in the box. The original Mei Liang watercolor set, which is this one. This was the very first one released, and mine is many, many years old. There is also a tube set of that one, which you also can see in the unsorted tube video. So this one is, if you're really on a budget, probably the set I can recommend the highest, because there are many, they have like 36 colors in it. A lot of them are light fast. There are only a few, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 colors that aren't light fast. This set was tested by Kimberly. She done a 1-year light fastness test. So these were 9 colors did fade very strongly, and the rest of them not really. We had like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 colors that faded very, very little. So a lot of the colors are light fast, which is nice. We do have a light fast magenta. We do have light fast yellows. We have each primary color is we have some light fast versions. So that is really, really nice. You get now, at least I think, the pigment information. I've seen it, I think on the Amazon site, that they put the information down. The information is also with the tube, so I will probably look the color names from here and look at the tubes to finally include them. But yeah, back then we didn't get any information, we only get the names. And you can really buy this for like 15 to 20 euros, depending on when you are buying it. So it is really, really cheap. We have like half pans, and yeah, the quality is just really good. Very high quality student grade paints. So that's definitely, if you are on a budget, one of the best sets you can buy, in my personal opinion. They also did level up from the 36 to a 48 and a 52 set, but those are definitely more expensive than in comparison to the other set here. So I will show you. The 48 set is basically the same tin as the Coraline one, just with half pans, which is nice that they are now really in separate pans, not like in my old 36 version. I do not know if the newest 36 version also offer this like that. I don't know. Sadly, we also don't have something printed on it, like information. I think on the Amazon site I've seen the pigments, but I'm not quite sure. So I will have to look that one up. But yeah, they are individually in there, which is nice because you always can put them in another tin, which I can't do with the 36 set. Like all Paul Rubens sets of watercolor, they come with a swatch sheet on watercolor paper, which is always nice. I just don't find them very handy because first of all, they are big, and I don't like it if I really don't see it easily on which position which color is, so I normally don't use them. As you can see, I didn't have so far opened them and swatched them, but the quality is should be the same as the other Mei Liang set, so I don't see why they shouldn't be good. And the 52 set, I think I haven't opened it so far as well. Oh, come out. It's a completely different kind of box. It's these standard boxes you find in cheaper watercolors. Sometimes it does come with a water resistant liner, which is amazing. You not normally never find these in boxes. We have a pencil, a sponge, and we have a little brush. And what I do absolutely love is with the brush is the shape, because many years ago I've bought the Holbein resable brushes just because they had this shape, and this is meant to used to get off your masking tape, masking fluid after you're done. And I never liked to use my fingers for that. I just don't like the feel of it. So I have bought these erasers. You can buy these gummy latex-like erasers, but they often damaged the paper, which I didn't like, especially with cellulose-based. And this is the best way to get it off, in my opinion, with a brush like that. And I absolutely loved that it included a brush. I'm not really interested in the front part, but I'm very much interested in here. But it looks like a decent nylon brush, so that is nice. You do also get some watercolor papers. We of course, oh yeah, no, I have swatched this one. We of course get the swatch card. Again, we only have names and we have a light fastness information, but without any pigment information, I'm always careful to trust those. These pens are in, I don't know how good you can see it, maybe here, in small, probably aluminum pans. So probably with a little bit of work you could get them out, but not sure how good they will fit into standard tins. We do have a lot of pastel-like colors here in the set. So the color selection is very different to the other sets. And also the ultramarine doesn't seem to be granulating very strongly, so they must have like an ultramarine finest in here, which is also a little bit different to the other sets. Yeah, I mean, this one doesn't appear to granulate strongly as well. You can see a little bit, but you can see it better than on this one here. So yeah, this is the 52 set of Meiliang. But as I do own now all three versions and a tube set, I would highly recommend either get the tube set or this original set, because those are the best price per values you can get. So another Paul Rubens set is this one from the Gem series. This is also a set that is many years old, but you can still buy it. Those did come in different colors. There was a black one, a white one, a light pink one, and this green-blue one. And it looks optically, the optic of this thing is amazing. It has this flip-flop effect. When I look at that angle, it looks blue. When I look at that angle, it looks green. I know the camera doesn't really show it. You get the traditional finger ring underneath. You have like the mixing area and a standard 24 color selection, which is okay. We do have a non-light fast PY3, but also a light fast other lemon yellow color, so that's not really a problem. We have a basic set of colors in here. The only issue I do have with the color is the violet, which is a manganese violet, a PV16. And if you have seen my manganese violet video in my Pigments and Color Family series, the manganese from the manganese pigment family, this is by far the worst manganese violet I ever have. Normally this is a color that wets very easily. I don't know why and what happened to this one here in my box. It is like a rock. You have to really, even a cobalt violet rewets better, or a viridian, or a potter's pink than this color. It feels like a rock. You can put water on and scrub and scrub and scrub and scrub, and I barely got this amount of color of it. Also, it just doesn't look very nice. Normally it's a nice granulating color, and it looks somewhat off. I don't know what happened with it. So that's my only problem with the set. All the other colors are standard Paul Rubens quality, and those are sets you definitely can still get like a set, and that are, when AliExpress, for example, has some special sales, often you can find this as at a reduced price. So now this is one of my many Schminke Academy sets I've bought, because they do make these limited edition watercolor tins, and yeah, I definitely love to collect them. I absolutely love those. These original colors in here I've put outside because I have, like I said, many of those, and I have them in my, have a lot of them put to the side because I wanted to use the tints and not like open the same colors 5 times or so. So I have put them in a box on the side. And these are actually Paul Rubens paints. I have them, had them previously in another tin, and I think those are, this is the, maybe the Coraline, yeah, I think that those are the Coraline watercolors. So it's one of the student grade ones. I'm honestly not 100% sure which one, but I think it, yeah, I think it is the Coraline one. I think I've bought this before. I've bought the Mei Liang one. So that should be the Coraline colors. And if I take a look at the, oh yeah, we do have the Gamboge here, which is also made with a PO40. That should be the color that I thought about looking up the pigment. So this is a PY 154 mixed with a PO48. That is why it looks a little bit like a cobalt, not a cobalt, quinacridone gold. So if I take a look at the pigments here, because we do have the information, those all look very good with the light fastness. PO73 is not very good, and I'm not quite sure about the PO43 here, but the rest here, those are pretty much light fast. Prussian blue is never light fast, but yeah, those are light fast, light fast, light fast. So the only colors really problematic, I don't know here because I would have to look the PO43 up. The PO73 is not light fast and the PB27 is not light fast. The rest is light fast. So yeah, actually seems they're using very good quality pigments even in their student grade watercolors, which is amazing. Then for all of you who have seen my how to make a palette video should know this one because I made it for the video. So this one, my last self-made one from like end of 2024. And then I have this one here, and when I did film the German version I did realize that this is my spare set. I don't know if I have the one I already used in box 1 or if I had sorted my used one accidentally to in my spare box, so I will have to look that up. But this is a surprisingly good cheap metallic watercolor set. They do have a lot of extra stuff, brushes, pencil, eraser, sharpener, etc. It also comes, which I absolutely loved, that's why I knew that's the spare one, because it's not swatched, watercolor paper and a thick cardboard in black and white. And I always mention, always swatch your metallics. It doesn't matter what kind of metallic on light and a dark paper, because they will look different. And it also comes with watercolor paper in white and dark, which is absolutely amazing because normally you never get black watercolor paper. So I said that blocks that look like that normally aren't good quality. This is the one exception to that rule. But those are also have a lot more like the gummy, sticky feeling you get with watercolors. Normally you can, like, I can't see if you see it here. if you are, I will put it in here. No, I can't really. There, can you see it? Yeah, see, I can dent with my nail the color, which I can't with this very hard, like rock-like blocks. So these are like chameleon watercolors. This is an interference watercolor, and these are like standard metallics, but they are more matte. They are not as shiny and glittery as these one. These are very shiny and glittery. Those are a little bit more matte, so not very, very shiny, but you can buy the set for a very cheap price. It is very often on sale on Amazon. I've shared it all the times I found it in my Discord. So if you want a link, let me know. But if you are on a very tight budget, this is a very nice selection. I mean, we get like 18 colors, which is a nice amount. The blocks are very big, so they will last you a while. And these aren't as deep as these ones, but this is still a big amount of color, and you can probably color very, very much with those until you run out. And the reason why I've bought two was I was very, very surprised with the quality here, which is very good, and for that cheap kind of watercolors. And yeah, they were so cheap on when they were on sale that I said, okay, I will buy a second one, which yeah, I did. And I will have to look up where the one I already used is. Not quite sure. But if I have accidentally swatched it with my spare one, I will have to change it back. So these are that. Then let's go to this set. This tin was the very first watercolor set I've ever owned. So this is like 30 years old, and it still works. When I started to look pigments up and start to inform myself more with pigments, I took out the original colors that came with the set, which are Academy. I only ever used up completely the yellow, so I had to replace it. And when I had to replace it, I only could buy Schminke Horadam colors. So all of those are Academy, and all the Horadam colors I have put in another set. There wasn't enough room for the white, because this white is also Horadam, so I have put it into this set, but this is not Academy one. And this is one of the new Academy colors, like maybe from this set here. And I opened it and I swatched the new and the old and did a comparison video about it. You will find it in the comparison playlist if you are interested in it. So yeah, those are my very first watercolors. Some of them really have lost all the water in it and really shrunk over all the years, but you can still use them. They work completely fine and completely the same to when you buy new colors, because with high quality paints it doesn't matter. You can, if you store them good and they don't mold, you can even use them in 100 years without any problems. You definitely can see that the tin did get a little bit of rust over all the years. I wasn't as careful as a child as I'm today, so it definitely suffered a bit over the years, but it is still completely functional, and the rust isn't that bad that it won't work. The only thing is it did get a little bit too dented, so it doesn't close properly anymore. But yeah, it is a very well loved tin, and this is basically the set that started my obsession and love for watercolors. So then I'll have to put some of them back. And then we can take a look at the next set. So, okay, this one is the first Holbein set I've owned. These are these color. This is a cerulean blue I've bought additionally, and those are the made with the glass pigment, glass particles, the chameleon and one of the shimmer watercolors from Rembrandt. So this is basically the first ever Holbein watercolors I've owned. And those were only the small tubes, so those are also one I try to use up. There are a lot of mixed colors, which is very often if you buy sets like that. That's why nowadays I tend to buy mostly open stock. Yeah. Also, I don't like the color selection a lot, especially here with the reds. I don't have a good primary magenta in here, and the one that gets close is a PR83, which is horrible with the light fastness. So yeah, the selection is not my personal cup of tea, to be honest. But yeah, that's that. Then I do have this little travel set here, which is the Winsor & Newton Cotman travel set. You can get this as a Cotman or from the professional watercolors. The box is completely the same. That's why I recommend buying the Cotman ones, because it is half the price from the other one, and if you're buying it on sale you can get it even cheaper. Honestly, I do have two of those because I've bought one on super sale on Amazon a few years ago, the second one, which was like 15 or 20 euros, was super cheap. And I did make a funny realization when I've looked up at the color selection. This is my old set, and the color selection is completely different with my new set. So I wanted to make a comparison video with the old versus the new somewhen. So this is meant to be a little water cup. You can click it on here. You do get a little travel brush with the set. And you have this little water bottle, which you also can use as a mixing space. Then you have additional mixing space here, which you can fold out. You get a little brush, a sponge, which is a genuine sponge from the sea. And then you have the colors, and the colors you can easily pull out, or had the same problem when I did the German video. It got down so badly that I couldn't get it up anymore. Gosh, shouldn't have put it so high. Jesus. I have to put them all out so that I can... Yeah, that's what I hate with extruded watercolors, that the blocks fall out all the time. Super annoying. But yeah, you can swatch the colors, so even if you don't want to use the Cotman ones, you can easily replace them with other pans. That is not really a problem. It is a very nice set if you are into plein air or travel coloring or drawing, if you really use your set in different places. I'm not so much a color or artist that draws or colors a lot when I'm not home. So basically, I have used it a few times when I was in our garden. But yeah, it isn't something I use very much. But if you are someone who colors or draws a lot outside, this is definitely an amazing set because it is very compact. You have 15 colors and you have everything in one go. You can work with this as it is without taking something else with you, which is really nice. Then I do have a review video about this set, so I try to keep it a little bit short. This is from the Supervision brand, wooden palette. I always wanted to have a wooden palette, and I did absolutely love the design of this one because it is very easy, very simple, and it needs not much space. A lot of the wooden palettes are very big. The lid is with magnets and it just looks so nice. You can still get them, but it is very hard to get them nowadays, and some sellers really sell them for a very high price. So I was lucky I got mine from a seller that sold it from with the original price, and at like I've seen sellers now selling those for like 150 euros, which is shockingly expensive. I would never have bought it for that, but yeah, I'm happy to have it. If you're interested in the pigments and the colors more, then I can recommend watching the video. So then, Van Gogh, one of my absolute favorite student grade paints. They are amazing, and the price per value, especially if you buy them open stock, is amazing. And yeah, all the sets I do have an amazing color selection, and they also have the biggest range of colors in the student grade department. So these are the colors. What I don't like is they fall out very easily. So if I would now put it on this side, they will drop out super easily, which can be a bit annoying. But overall, like I said, it is okay. I'm not so into the plastic box, but the plastic boxes are a lot cheaper than the metal tin. I do have one in the drawers, the 48 metal tin, but yeah, especially the small white one, I think I've shown it in the box 1 video. I'm not 100% sure, but I think it is in there. Like there are normally 12 colors, but there's 12 plus 3, so 15 colors, which is an amazing starter set with an amazing selection of colors, which definitely is a good start to test your colors. I also do have a review video for that, so I will also keep it a little bit shorter. This is an older Paul Rubens set. You still can buy it. There were like 3 colors. This greenish color, then we have a golden yellow color, and we do have the set with a, I think, pink. This is the big version. You also get smaller square shaped ones, but at the time when I bought this, I wanted this color and I couldn't find a seller selling the square shaped one in that color, so I had to buy the bigger set, and it has like this liquid core thing going on where you can move the glitter and the glitter stars. The color itself, they are not there's not a lot of a very high amount of color in it. You can see it is not very high. We do get the information about the pigments, and so I haven't gotten it with the set itself, but I've gotten it from other sets from that time. Or no, we have the information here printed on. So there are few colors, like 1, 2, 3, 4. 4. Don't know why I have added non-light fast here, because it's a PY42. That is a mistake of my side, but yeah, 4 colors that aren't light fast. Sadly, 2 of the 3 yellows aren't light fast, which is sad, but at least we have one genuine cadmium yellow, which is a light fast color. We have this, they also have this small metal tins around them. And yeah, they are like, I don't know, 1st or 2nd generation of Paul Rubens, so they are definitely, if you buy a newer set, the colors with the same color name may be different looking. But as I said, I have still seen like 2 or so months ago that you can buy still this set, so they are available. So in here I have my very first watercolor tube set of, until this one I think, Rosa Gallery ones, and these are my first filled in, a part of them at least, Daniel Smith watercolor tubes. So this was a set, those were individually bought colors, and this is basically the set of the Rosa Gallery ones. Yeah, someday I will use this one up and then not fill it in here again, but yeah, tons of filled set, just because I thought back then I have to like fill in all the tubes and all the colors I have somewhere. So those next few also were visible, or I've showed them in the how to fill a palette video. I have here the non-light fast palette. I have the granulation palette, the secondary palette, and the light fast palette. I won't open them all, they're looking similar because of what they contain, or it is the same, basically the same palette style, just filled with different colors, so it's not so interesting to look them, or to look all into them. Jesus. Okay, so next here is a set from White Nights, and those 2 colors I've bought individually, but the rest of them are from the set. So you can see you can put like 4 additional colors in it, and you would also be able to put 4 half pans additional to it. What I do absolutely love with the tin, that was the main reason I've bought it, is it is very, very slim. So it is very, very nice to take with you when you go somewhere, because it doesn't use a lot of space and you have a big amount of colors in it. To have the lower part, which is nice for me because I don't use it anyways. What is a little bit strange, there are, because it is a very old set, a lot of printing errors on the color swatch card that came with it, which is also on watercolor paper, which is nice, but like we have here, the cat orange and the ultramarine blue are labeled as super bad in light fastness, but the pigments are the best in light fastness you can get. So some of them are just labeled very strangely. And yeah, that's, like I said, a very old one, probably had some problems when they did this card, but the set itself is nice, the color selection is okay from there. That's something I do like. Then we have another, and I mentioned that in the palette video as well, that I do have some palettes where I have filled in colors and then I'm not quite sure. I've written it down somewhere, but I don't know where it is. So I either have to search and look if I can find the list where I have written it down, or else I will have to guess which colors those are. I mean, these, for example, that I know for sure, those are cobalt turquoises, a light in a darker version. I can guess that those are probably the Winsor Newton professional ones, because this is the one I've used up and this is the one that is nearly used up. So probably have put those in. So some of them are probably in my use up first box. Some of them will be more easily to recognize, and some will be a little bit more problematic. So those are like, yeah, another one. And 2 more. So that's like 5 palettes, and I have no clue with the colors, which is of course not amazing. We'll have to look this up. And yeah, I think that's the last palette for the box. These are a brand called Vista Artista, I think. This is the name of the brand. And the funny thing is, I've bought them on a sale when I've bought something else. I've seen this brand and another brand, which was in the box 1. And I've bought them for, I think like 70 cents per pan. And a lot of the colors, especially from the other one, were your standard cheap, not very light fast pigments you've got, but this brand here had some very big surprises, like this one here, for example, which is called Rose, which looks like your standard primary magenta, is actually a quinacridone rose, quinacridone pink, which is a PR 122, which is a very light fast color. So you have a light fast color, and the color quality is really good. I mean, it would probably not put it as an artist grade, but a very high quality student grade paint. They feel very similar here to the Sonnet, so the student grade paints from White Nights or the Rosa Studio ones. And the much more surprising thing, because at the first time I've bought pens from them. I bought like 5 or so to test, and then like half or a year later they were on sale again, and then I looked up all the colors which were available at the time. There are more colors, but I couldn't buy more because they were already sold out. And by the first go, I've bought the cobalt blue just because I wanted to know how they imitate it, because that is always something which is interesting to see, which pigment they use to imitate a cobalt blue, because cobalt are super expensive pigments that normally not seen in cheap brands like that. But to my big surprise, it wasn't an imitation. It is a genuine PB28. So yeah, like for 70 cents, I got a genuine cobalt blue color. It is from the size somewhere between a full and a half pen. I honestly don't know how much really is in there, because those are definitely smaller than full pens, but they are also bigger than half pens. So there is a size somewhere between 1.5 milliliter and 3 milliliter. Probably some, I would guess probably maybe like 2 milliliters, something like that. But still, it is a big amount of color. They're very sticky, so I guess they probably use honey in their recipe. And yeah, like I said, I was super surprised to see that. And you also get all the pigment information, which is not very common with cheaper brands. So I was very surprised about that one. And honestly, if you can get colors like this and are on a budget, this is probably the cheapest way you ever can get access to expensive pigments like cobalts. I've never seen anything cheaper with a genuine cobalt blue. So yeah, those were a big surprise to me. And that is everything I do have for box number 2. So we have 2 more drawers, which are full. And then I have some sets that are in the upper room, in my drawing room, which I will put into one of the drawer videos as well, just because like for 4 or 5 palettes, it doesn't make any sense to make an extra video. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. I really hope you have enjoyed the video, that it was interesting and helpful, maybe in the decision which sets or brands are worth buying or aren't worth buying. And yeah, I would absolutely love to hear your personal opinions or experiences with some of the color or sets I've showed, or with other sets of brands or brands in general you did have. So let me know in the comments below, and as always, thumbs up or a follow is very much appreciated, because it really helps me in the channel. So thanks a lot for that. And yeah, I hope you have a wonderful day, and to see you soon in one of my other videos. Take care. Bye bye.